They said, well, you don't care about how the first wife feels, and how do you not understand that? How would you not understand that the first wife would be hurt or be in pain or these different things like that? And the crazy thing is, as crazy as it may seem to people, is that I never looked at polygyny as something negative. Assalamu alaikum. Peace. It's your Coach Nyla. We are going to chat about polygyny done right. What does that actually mean? Because usually we hear that a lot when it comes to polygyny. We're going to talk about things polygyny and just relationships in general. But because polygyny does not get its fair airplay, we're definitely going to do much more focus on that, just to pretty much shed some light on it. And I think this topic is a really, really good topic because we hear it a lot. We hear it a lot about, I wouldn't have a problem with polygyny if it's done right. If it's done right, that's kind of like the main saying that I hear so much. But I'm pretty sure that we wouldn't want anything done wrong. So we like our food done right. We like the way our clothes to fit right. We would like our children to act right. We would like parenting if parenting was done right. We would like schooling if schooling was done right. I guess I don't know. So many different things that we could just tack that ending on. I'm not sure if you guys had played this game before, but it was a thing that I don't know. I think I heard it on the show that after after the saying, or you read the cookies out of the fortune out of the fortune cookies, you have to like end it in the back of a car or something crazy like that. So that's what the if it's done right tacked on the end of polygyny or something like that. It reminds me of that. It reminds me of that game. It's like you can tack that on anything because it's blanket. It's a blanket statement. So we're going to chat about what does that look like polygyny done right. So I've heard that if it was up to us women, that polygyny done right would mean no polygyny at all. But I would actually beg to differ because I've spoken to a number of different women. I've coached a number of women, and even me myself. I would not look at it as polygyny done right is not polygyny done at all, or polygyny not done at all. So for me, what does that look like? Polygyny done right. Polygyny done right is the justness, or justice or justness. Is that even a word, guys? Justness. But being just. I've had a number of people have had their I guess issues with me as an incoming wife, as not only an incoming wife, but an incoming wife who, when I talked about, I did a video. I did one video titled "Why I Married a Married Man" or something along the lines of that. The other one was if I was to do it all over again, knowing what I know now, would I still marry a married man? So a lot of people who I want to say I don't know a lot of people, but usually if you're in a confined space or a small space where it looks like it's very big but it's kind of small, the minority in a bigger place will seem like the majority, if that makes any sense to people. So because sometimes I can confuse myself, so that's what I'm saying. Where it will look like it's the majority. And a number of people had an issue with that because they said, well, you don't care about how the first wife feels, and how do you not understand that? How would you not understand that the first wife would be hurt or be in pain or these different things like that? And the crazy thing is, as crazy as it may seem to people, is that I never looked at polygyny as something negative. So if I never looked at it as something negative, and people was like, well, that's because you were a second wife and you came in, and you married someone else's husband. So of course you won't see anything wrong with it. I was in monogamy before I was in polygyny. And I got divorced and, now I'm married in polygyny. The thing is that I didn't see anything wrong with it when I was studying, even though monogamy was the marriage that I was the first marriage that I got into as a Muslim, as a practicing Muslim, as a Muslim, as a practicing Muslim. I didn't jump into being married in polygyny, but I understood studying it, I understood the benefits of it. So that's my thing where when I talk about polygyny done right, if polygyny done right is, if it was up to the women, then it would not be polygyny at all. Now, it might be a number of women I know it'll be. A friend of mine, you guys, I'm pretty sure some of you guys are familiar with her, Naima Robert. She did a video that discussed, are we too good to be co-wives, and it was really interesting. Hear ye, all my fellow wives in polygyny and polygyny wannabes. Come closer, closer, a little bit closer. Okay. Do you really want fulfillment in your marriage? Do you want to stop the feeling of guilt because you married a married man or because you want to marry a married man? Do you want to stop feeling like you were pushed aside, disrespected, neglected because your husband married another woman? The solution to these feelings and others lie with being intentional and courageous communication, as well as embracing your identity. If you want to find out how to gain success in these areas, check out my gratification through growth, counseling, and coaching at CoachNyla.com. And I'll see you on the other side. Because, she did a poll. And in the poll, she did not add in the poll the poll stated something on the lines of, if you were to, what would be kind of the reason you will get into polygyny? And I'm totally paraphrasing, kind of like, if the first wife is okay with it, if kind of, I think one was like, if there's no other options and I'm desperate. And then it was another one that if he and the other wife do not really communicate with one another. So it was these different things, but nowhere in there did it say, there's no way, shape, or form that I would be into polygyny. There's no, forget that. There was not that. So I guess a number of people had their say about that. And it was like, well, why didn't you put that? Or you should have put that. You're just assuming that people would be for polygyny and this type of thing like that. She was like, well, I know that if I put that, that's like a default. People would go to that and run to that. She said, that's not what I'm looking for. The poll that she put was for a specific reason. And if it wasn't for you, just kind of move on. Totally understand. And I get that as well. Every poll is not for everybody. So if it's not for you, just, keep it pushing. I get that. So I do understand that there will be a number of women that say, well, polygyny done right is no polygyny at all. But there are a number of women out there that will say, I beg to differ. Me being one, of course, because I see the benefit. Regardless of if I was in polygyny or not, or whether I was a second wife, first wife, or whatever. I remember stating that if it was up to me, if it was like my choice and I could have crafted, my marriage type of thing and polygyny, I would have preferred to be a first wife. Why? Because I know how difficult it can be for incoming wives. And I'm starting to use a term, it's a lot longer than subsequent or second wife, but hear me out, is that I say that a woman who married a married man. So, because, and we're going to talk, this is another tea and chat that is going to be later on in the month with, that we're going to talk about the status of the second wife, like second wife status. Is it something that should be degraded? So because people see that or they hear that and it's like, oh, you're beneath, type of thing. Not the tea and chat for this one though. We're gonna do that a little later this month. But so I'm changing up the terminology a bit because I think that of course we know words have meaning. So when it comes down to it, people will have this feeling of that second wife. Oh, I'm supposed to be, I'm a second wife. I can't be, that type of thing. But there are women who say, you know what, I don't have a problem with being second, third, fourth, because I see it as just a timeline thing. This culture of a law that the timing is what it is. And I'm a wife, I'm a wife, I'm a wife. Wife is a wife is a wife. I've said it in a number of videos. However, I stated that my reasoning for me wanting would have looked at it a different way, or if I had the choice, I would have done it that way, because not to take anything away from anybody, it's just that if it happened that way, I would like to be a person that would make it easier. And not that I would go all out of my way, it's just that I would not make the person feel bad for wanting to marry a person who I found attractive myself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you have a good man, a good husband, would you not think that other people would think that will find him attractive as well? Not that they have to just go running all after him. But once again, as I stated before, when it comes to polygyny, he could always say no. So his reasoning for saying yes is his reasoning for saying yes. That has nothing to do with, it shouldn't have nothing to do with you. I would just say that. It shouldn't have nothing to do with us as wives. Even if Coach Nazir was to marry again and to marry again, I shouldn't. Not saying what I would look at it as, because I don't know what I would look at it. I know right now how I'm feeling. I would say, no, I'm pretty emotionally mature. I'm pretty much, we speak about it on a number of occasions. I do practice what I preach or teach or whatever the case may be. And then I say, okay, well, if he was to marry again, how would that look? Would I, get jealous? Jealousy is, we talked about that in the last, the last poly chat about jealousy, right? So that's a thing. It could be many different things that you can be jealous. You could have her hair could be, a way that you would rather it be, or the way her bone structure is. She can speak multiple languages. It could be anything. She's Hafiz a Quran. It could be a Quran. It could be a lot of stuff, that you can be jealous of, but it's how you handle those things. And it's not about being envious that you don't want the person to have those things. It's about that you may want those things, or you're feeling a little insecure or whatever. So that's the thing that we will have to handle ourselves.